Hello and welcome back to the channel. We're here with another episode of Haikyu, episode 7. Last time on Haikyu, Tempo. Hinata finally met with Coach Yukai, who I'm loving, by the way, absolutely loving. I know it's the cliche older tutor, mentor, sensei character, but it's just so good every time. But he's teaching Hinata how to actually battle in midair, and that's something that I've been waiting for such a very long time. I've been saying for quite some time now that his dependency on Kageyama is not it's not healthy for the team, and it's not healthy for him as a character that needs to actually grow. So I'm glad that they finally called that out. I was a bit upset in the last episode at Kageyama's response, not just Kageyama, but also younger coach Yukai as well as the other members of the team. And the reason for that frustration is because any sport that uses a ball, for that matter, keep your eyes on the ball, and you have a player on your team that literally closes his eyes to do the quick. You would think that the coach would be excited for him to try to open his eyes. And the argument can be made that, okay, yes, he knows that, okay, he has this one weapon that can make such a huge difference in the game, but still, his eyes are closed, and we've seen where this attack has been blocked countless times. It can only benefit you for him to learn to actually direct the attack. So I was a bit upset because, one, the coach wasn't supporting Hinata, but two, his team wasn't supporting Hinata, and that upset me more than the coach, because the team and the team themselves realized that what Hinata said was accurate, because they admitted to themselves that, okay, we can't stay the same as we are now. But they were all saying it in their own inner monologue and going to their own little training to add these new attacks to their arsenal. But they weren't supporting Hinata in doing the same thing. They were all saying Kageyama is right. And I guess maybe I have PTSD flashback from Naruto, in how and I hope maybe that I'm hopeful that is not what this writer is doing with Kageyama in treating him like they treated Sasuke in that series. In that, we knew at the very beginning that Sasuke was wrong. He was doing what he was doing for the understandable reasons, but we knew it was wrong. And we knew it would lead to a war, and we knew it would lead to other people dying, right? He didn't know that. By the time he did figure it out, countless people had already died. People who tried to save him, in fact, and others as an indirect result of that. And then at the end of the series, after we've all known that we were right all along, and he figures out that he's right, he gets a slap on the wrist and say, okay, you were a criminal that created an international incident that almost resulted in several clans going to war, but it's okay. You can do whatever you want to do. No consequences for those actions. And I just got the same feeling here with Kageyama. It's like everyone is treating him with kid gloves. It's like, okay, he can, as if he can do no wrong, And then when he does, we haven't gotten to the point where I guess he's now figured out that he's wrong. And in the same light, no one is calling him out on it and saying, why, you shouldn't have reacted the way that you did. It's just, we're just being told to just accept it and just move past it. So I imagine eventually he and Hinata they'll start playing together again. But they walked past each other in the last episode, and I think Yachi asked him if everything was okay, and he said yes. So it seems they're going in a direction where, okay, we're just not going to acknowledge that Kageyama's screwed up, and we're just going to say, okay, they're past it and everything is fine. And yeah, that frustrates me. It frustrates me. But I understand maybe that's what they want to do with the character. It does make him one of my least favorite characters right now. And I'm open to that being improved going forward, but I just don't know where Kageyama is concerned. These characters that are you're immediately told that they're in the spotlight and they're great because they can be. And there are instances where persons in different sports are that good and they're prodigies and so on. But usually those prodigies work to get to that point. And I guess maybe my issue is that I haven't seen where Kageyama has earned all this, all this reverence that he's been given to the point where everyone is making excuses for him as a character. So maybe we'll get that in future episodes to see how he worked to get to that point, and my feelings towards him will change at that point. But for the moment, and my eyes are really on Okawa as a setter, and Hinata as the character to follow at the moment. For me personally, I know I will get a lot of flack for that because I know Kageyama has a lot of fans, but at the moment I don't feel any particular love towards him in the way that he has been behaving in this season at the very least. As I said in season 1, he quite reminded me a lot of myself in his mannerisms and his social awkwardness, and that part of him I like, but as a setter I'm just not feeling him right now. But we'll see. So hopefully we'll get some context and things will actually change in the next the remainder of this season. But what I'm looking forward to the most is seeing Hinata perfect his basics so that he can play with any setter and battle in the air on his own. So let's check it out. Just Kenma!
宮城には鉄塔ないの。涼しいんだ、ここ。虫がすごいけど。ひなたー、身長伸びたか
Wow.
今回はガンガンメンバー変えていくからそのつもりでな。はい。目指せ大ペナルティ。
It's okay, Yachi. Relax.
このチャンス。あの変な速攻来るぞ。
Oh, he's gonna try it here. I thought this wasn't the place to try it, Kageyama. I thought this wasn't the place to try anything new. I'm sorry. I just had to get it out there. I had to say it.
実践は感覚が違う。びっくりしたか。お前が一番わかるだろう。影山のトスが前とは全然違う。
Why couldn't they have just gotten together and said this is what we're doing? I'm sorry, but the team is not doing great with communication right now. Oh, caught it. Ooh, nice. Nice recovery. Yes. He's able to open his eyes now and focus on the ball. I feel they're all gonna mess up their new techniques. Doing it in an actual match is a bit more difficult. Yeah. It's a rare Asahi getting upset moment. Rarely happens. Oh, what's Suga working on? Oh, okay. Synchronized attack. He's gonna miss, isn't he? It's alright, Nishi. No, they're evolving. Nice analogy. Yeah. Alright. Often I forget Suki's even there because he's just not just doesn't have a presence.
じゃあ用意。
Go on, Suki. Move faster.
やっぱサーブすっげえ。できた。ブロック。そったらごめん。
ブロッコリ
やめろ。食べ物に失礼だぞ。
Is that really his name? Broccoli? You lost, but you're making
さんに
progress.
タブレット借りてシンクロ攻撃の動画確認すんで。よっしゃ、汗。俺はサーブ打ってく。全然足りねえ。サーブ。
Yeah, he's supposed to be working on his float serve, right? At least try, Suki.
月は何か
At least help if you're not gonna try.
練習なんて嫌ってほどやってるじゃん。がむしゃらにやればいいってもんじゃないでしょ。
Okay then. Why are they even friends? I feel like Suki doesn't really care about it.
ちょっとブロック飛んでくんない？あ、僕もう上がるので失礼します。
Oh, you're tall.
見えないかもしんないけど、こいつ全国で5本の指に入るくらいのスパイカーだから練習になると思うよ。
Yeah, at least go and try to learn something.
ギリギリ入れないですかね。どうも。落とすくらいなら上げないで。それに君、ミドルブロッカーなら
Finally, someone gets in there and digs at him, since he loves doing it so much. Nice one. How about trying to practice with each other?
そこの練習やる？ボール出します？なんで一杯行きますみたいなノリ。
おいポン！おいポン！
He hit it at an angle. How's he doing that? Nope. Still got past you.
1枚ブロックに勝っただけっすよ。メガネ君はストレートをきっちり締めとけよ。
They're giving him some tips. Nice.
おいは死んだな、ブロックが。腕とかぽっきり折れそうで心配になる。ガッと止めない。
It's good to see him on the receiving end of these insults.
悠長なこと言ってると、あのチビちゃんにいいとこ全部持ってかれんじゃねえの？同じポジションだろ。ひなだと僕じゃ元の才能が違いますからね。
That's a lazy
また
answer.
スパイク練習ですか？俺ブロックやります。
Inasa literally has a height disadvantage. And started playing much later than everyone else.
おい。なんか地雷踏んだんじゃないですか、クロウさん。おっくれ。
No? You did what needed to be done.
それは身長も頭脳も持ち合わせているメガネ君。
Exactly.
チビちゃんを対等どころか叶わない存在として見てるなんてさ。
It's because he's not even trying.
もう一回ちょっとタイミング早すぎんじゃないですか。
そうか。じゃあ次ワンテンポ遅らせるわ。
行きます。
You know what this actually reminds me of is the discussion that Yachi actually had with her mom.
そんな風にやるんだ。
You know, where she said if you're not gonna give it your all, you're just bringing. What was that?
で苦しくなるんだろ
Okay. Alright, so we may be due for a Suki backstory. It looks like someone in a room crying and him at the door. But Yachi's mom her advice applies here. You know, if you're not going to give it your all, then you're only going to bring the team down. Ah. Missed again. Damn. You're going to be getting a workout. It's alright, guys. You'll get there. Watermelon. Would they have even noticed the difference? He always looks pissed off. Sun and the moon. Interesting. So he had a brother that used to be on Karasuno's team. Could, but judging by what we saw before, I'm guessing he does. Nah, never see that play coming. I'm wondering now, though, if it is a case, well, the flashback that we saw with Suki and his brother, and his feeling inferior to Hinata, whether his brother had a similar experience with the little giant, because she said it was at a time when they were at their strongest. So maybe he was replaced by the little giant, and so Suki feels Hinata is, you know, outshining him here as well. That doesn't mean you shouldn't try. I mean, Asahi's a third year. I think by the time Hinata gets good enough to be ace, Asahi likely won't still be playing at high school level. That's good. It pushes the other members to get better. If only that was happening with Suki. Is he? Yeah, I mean, if you're not trying to win, then what's the point of you being there? Although, who would they replace him with? I can't remember any other members on Karasuno's team. There's this one guy that keeps popping up, but I don't remember his name. No, let him have it. Alright, Hinata's learning. Exactly. Nice, Asahi. Maybe a wimp off the court, alright? But not when he's on court. No. It seems to be getting to Suki. He's asking a lot of questions, so it gives me the impression that he's looking for a reason to try.
今日もスパイク練習付き合わない？すみません。遠慮してきます。
It's not.
あ、そう？クロー。まだ何も言ってなんで断んの？もったいない。うるさいな。僕は君と違ってスタミナバカじゃないんだよ。なんだよ月島よ。ひなたなら今の月になんて言う？あ？
Just told him.
影山とか八千さんの時みたいに。
何も言わないけど。ないやつにやろうぜって言っても仕方ない。
Good point.
あ、くそー、あんな身長持ってるくせによ。俺があの身長だったらあんなことやこんなことする。
Really? Are you sure? Oh, that is true.
山口な
He
ら
did want to join the volleyball team. Alright, Haikyuu episode 7. This was a much more Suki-centric episode than I thought it would actually be. But I guess it's time for that we got that. We've kind of had that for all the characters. We knew Kageyama and Hinata's from the get-go from season 1 because that's how we were introduced to them. And his history with Okawa came a bit later, but we knew what was happening with them. The three third years, we kind of had an idea, you know, they're approaching the end of their time here, so we know what is motivating them. So that really just leaves Suki, and we got the thing with Nishinoya and Asahi as well. So that just leaves Suki, who just joined, so we don't really have a full grasp on you know what his motivations are, if he has any motivation at all, because he doesn't appear to give anything his all. But there does seem to be some history there. Apparently he has a brother, and as I mentioned before, I'm going to assume from the flashback that we got, his brother crying in the room, and what, you know, what was mentioned about his brother being around. I think it was Psycho who said it. His brother being around when Karasuno was at their best, which means that he was playing when the Little Giant was actually playing. So I do wonder whether, you know, his brother was replaced by the Little Giant, and so he's seeing Hinata in the same light, and so why bother trying if I'm just going to be replaced by this person? But there's some flaw in that argument, because I mean, Hinata is no Little Giant right now, you know. I guess perhaps he could be worrying about what happens later down the line, but that's no reason to not try to be the best, you know. So in some ways I do understand his frustrations, you know. I think we've, at some point or another, unless you're a prodigy, you've been there where you've seen, you know, you work hard and you do see where this person, and I guess Okawa's in the same camp with Kageyama, where this person who's naturally gifted, you know, kind of trumps your hard work. Although he says Hinata is naturally gifted, I wouldn't call Hinata naturally gifted, because Hinata, as he is right now, is so unrefined. His basics, receiving and blocking and all of that, is kind of subpar. And that's taking nothing away from Hinata, because I love him, but he's not that great a character in terms of his talent right now. And the notion that he has some natural ability, I just don't see that, because yeah, he has a lot of stamina, but we've seen where Kageyama actually matches him a lot of times when they have that race that they have going on. So it's not some unprecedented talent that no one else can match. So I don't see that they're referring to. Whereas Kageyama himself appears to have that natural, that, you know, talent to precisely aim balls, or that no one else seems to be able to replicate, not even someone like Okawa, who appears to be the best setter at the moment. So Hinata's abilities are physical, but not, you know, not something that's so unnatural that it can't be matched, you know. So Suki's arguments are a bit, you know, a bit weak, and just gives the impression he's just not trying. And that may be what is happening. He's just not trying because, you know, because of what he's seen happen. But I guess it's as Hinata said, you know, we can't make him play if he doesn't want to play. So he needs to find his reason for actually playing. He needs to care about it himself. The coach has said, he'll need to reconsider other regulars if he doesn't step up his game, and that makes sense. As I said before, the advice Yachi's mom gave to her applies here, because she said to her, if you're not going to give it your best and do your all, you're just going to be a burden to the team, and essentially, that is what he's going to become, a liability, if he's not giving it 100%. Even if just the passing grade that he's been working with right now, is good enough, they can't go to nationals with just good enough. They have to be better. So he does have to step up his game here. So I'm quite curious. I think we'll probably learn a bit more about that. They kind of highlighted Hinata being the sun, and and Suki being the moon. So maybe a foreshadowing as to what Suki's rise, if she does find that motivation and gets to Hinata's, I wouldn't even say Hinata's level, but surpasses Hinata, and become a threat on the court. But he would be in a different, and that's the thing, that's the other flaw to the argument, because even though they're in the same position, they do completely different things. Hinata is not going to be the greatest blocker. He can still reach the same height, but he will need to kind of predict the movement before he jumps, so he can jump higher. He can jump early, so he can get to the block, to the point that he needs to get to. Whereas Suki can do it with ease, So he has the advantage of being taller. So I don't think Hinata is ever going to be able to match him as far as blocks are concerned. So even if they are in the same position, I think their play style is drastically different enough where it's not going to be a case of one outshining the other. They both can have things to contribute to the actual team, to be valuable in their own way. So I can't wait for that development. The free quick, or appears to be coming together. The other, slowly. They haven't hit one quite yet, and Azumani, Asahi, and Nishinoya are trying their new techniques, and the synchronized attacks and all that, not working at the moment, but I think eventually they will get there. So I can't wait, and I'm looking forward to that. All right, guys, be sure to post down below, let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. Remember to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.